Hey guys, RCD Butts here, and I thought I'd go over 10 reasons why I love my Fusion 50. So reason number one is the adjustable head. So we've got a bunch of different spots here where we can, we've got different holes, like for the fly bar, cage, the upper mixing arms, and the lower mixing arms, where you can basically set this up as a nice stable beginner or FAI machine, or a wild pitch pumping 3D hardcore aggressive helicopter. If you look on page 6 of the manual, it shows here the different setups that we can use and where to put everything so that you can get the different setups from the beginner settings all the way up to intermediate and advanced. So that's number one reason why I love my Fusion 50, is that this head is adjustable from mild to wild. Okay, reason number two why I love my Fusion 50 is the layout of the servos. Most helicopters that I'm used to, at least the Align ones, the elevator servo was back here somehow, so I had to like reach in there and getting those little arms in there so I could get the push-pull system. That was such a huge pain in the butt, really hard to access. So right here we have both the aileron servos on the front side of the frame, and then we also have our elevator servo right here. So all these have push-pull systems, and all these servos are really easy to access. No weird reaching inside the frame and dealing with all that stuff when you're trying to work on something. So that's the second reason why I like my Fusion, is the accessibility of these servos. Okay, reason number three why I love my Fusion is the ease of replacing these front torque tube umbrella gears. This tail boom block here, I'll move the blades to show you a little bit here. This tail boom block, a lot of helicopters, you put it in here and then there's little slits, or something that you have to slide it into and it's press fit. Well, this is just flat on each side, so when you unscrew all 6 of these screws, you can just slide it right out. It's not like you have to spread the frames apart in order to slowly wiggle it out so that you can access the front umbrella gears. You just take these out, loosen up the tail boom supports, and slide it out, and it's really easy to replace those, which for anyone who uses a torque tube drive system, that's something that you can appreciate pretty quick. Okay, reason number 4 why I love my Fusion 50 helicopter. Right here you can see there's actually some holes in these arms right here for your aileron, and there's also holes in the frame right there. See the hole in the frame? And they give you a little rod that you can use to push in there so that when you're setting it up, you can adjust your sub trim so that you can line these holes up perfectly. And when you do that, and you've measured the linkage rods as it says in the manual, then the setup is perfect. And we've got holes on both sides so that we can line those up and get it set up perfectly. And then for the elevator servo, there's also this, you can see this kind of heart-shaped thing where there's this point on the end where you can line up with the center of this one, or with the center of this screw right here. So once you've got those lined up, and then these with the holes, you know that at 50-50 you've got the perfect setup. So getting the perfect setup on a Fusion 50 is really that easy, and you've got everything lined up. So that's the 4th reason I love my Fusion 50. Alright, reason number 5 why I love my Fusion 50 is this battery mounting setup that they've got. Most other 12 cell helicopters that I've flown, they have a full solid frame, and then there's some slots here, and then you have to wrap your batteries to a tray and then slide the tray in, and then you've got these battery wires hanging out all over the place, snagging up against the tray. Well, with the Fusion, it's really easy. You just kind of pop each battery on each side like this, put a strap around it, put 2 or 3 straps around it, and then you're good to go. Unwrap the straps when you're done, pull the batteries out, and then you're good to load up the next batteries. So, I mean, I find that incredibly convenient at the field. You know, you go in there, you want to fly, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time messing with your batteries. So the battery mounting setup that they have here is fantastic. Alright, reason number 6 why I love my Fusion 50 is the fact that you can mount just about any size motor in this helicopter without any problems. A lot of other kits you're going to have to, you know, carve down certain parts, but with this thing you can fit, you know, I've got a 4035 in here for a 12 cell setup, and there's still room for an even bigger motor. I haven't tried any of those Newcastle or some of the even newer, bigger Scorpion motors, but I'm sure they'd fit in here. So that's the reason number 6 why I love my Fusion 50 is the fact that you can mount just about any size motor in here, which allows for you to pick any kind of 6 cell setup or 12 cell setup, or who knows what the future and the technology will bring, but the Fusion will probably allow for most of those motors. Alright, reason number 7 why I love my Fusion 50 is this tail right here. This tail is extremely solid. You know, we're attacking the slider, which is circular, from the top and the bottom, so we've got a full arm right here, not just the bottom. We're actually hitting it from both sides, and it's good quality material here. Metal. This little slider is plastic. These grips are incredibly strong and reliable. And basically, if you compare this tail to like a KDE direct tail upgrade for an Align helicopter, this is basically what you're getting. So you're getting, you know, like a nice upgraded tail, and a nice reliable tail. Most mechanical failures that happen for me are in the tail, or used to be, but now with the Fusion, I don't get that so much. You want to keep these greased up, and as long as you do that, you've got a nice reliable tail in the Fusion 50. Alright, reason number 8 why I love my Fusion 50 is this narrow frame. This narrow setup actually, you know, keeps it really solid. The frames hold together really well, and any kind of crash I've gotten into, I have still yet to do any damage to this frame. It's this narrow aspect of it, it helps it look really sleek. We've also got extra frame supports, but it also just holds the frame together really well, which also holds together all of your electronics, you know, your servos, everything. The narrow frame just helps with structural integrity and makes it look really nice. Alright, reason number 9 why I love my Fusion 50 is some of the breakaway parts that they have set up. So some people you might hear have issues with their gears grinding away. If you grease up these gears, you won't have that problem. I've never had a gear die during flight, but during a crash, the gears will give up pretty quick. And by the gears giving up, you end up saving yourself all of the expensive parts. These aren't like Mod 1 gears. They're pretty reasonable to replace, all of the gears in general. So it helps protect anything else in your frame. You know, once the gears give out, the motor's not really going to cause anything else to happen. Protects your torque tube drive through here, and then if these tail gears give out, it will protect your whole tail case. There's also the bottom base plate. This bottom base plate is plastic, so if you have a hard hit, you're probably going to end up breaking this bottom plastic plate, which is really cheap. It's $8 to replace it. Your landing gear will fall off and probably not be broken, and your frame will probably remain you know, in good shape. That's the thing, you know, if these gears are breaking away, all the really expensive stuff stays intact. So all the breakaway parts that they have, I think, are a good feature. So that's reason number 9 why I love my Fusion 50. And finally, reason number 10 why I love my Fusion 50 is the price, especially of the spares. You know, the kit is about $500. If you look on AMain, you can get it for quite a bit cheaper. But I compared the prices from a Fusion 50 to a T-Rex 600, and if you look at the prices of everything, you know, boom, spindle, main shaft, main gear, front gears, rear gears, landing gear, base plate, and frame half, the things that people probably replace most often, they are cheaper for the Fusion 50 than they are for the Align 600. For example, boom, you can get two of them for $11.50 for the Fusion. You get two for $13 for the Align. Spindle, $6. They got us beat on the spindle, two for $6.40. Main shaft, two for $12. Align, two for $13. Main gear, two for $10. That's one of those breakaway parts. They're a little cheaper, but they break away for a reason the way they break away. For an Align, two for $14, and for an ESP, you're going to pay even more. Or for that, and that's for an ESP. If you've got the 600 Pro, you're going to be paying even more. Front gears, $11 for the Fusion, $12 for the Align 600. Rear gears, $4. Look at that, $4 for the rear torque tube gears. $12 for the Align. Landing gear, $6 for the Fusion. $6 also for the Align. Base plate, which is plastic, $8 for the Fusion. $22 for the Align. But the Align is carbon. Another thing though, you have to remember, you know, once the bottom of the helicopter gets that impact, if you have carbon, it's going to really pull and tear at the rest of the frame, where this plastic is going to break away and your frame will be protected. So you're paying more money for something that's going to do more damage to your helicopter with the bottom base plate. The frame half, if you really have a hard crash and you have to replace part of the frame, $45 for a frame half for a Fusion 50. That's $60 for an Align, and that's the ESP and the Pro version. So you may pay a lot less up front for the Align to have it as a combo kit, but in the end, you're going to be happier with the Fusion 50, and you're going to spend a lot less on spare parts. Alright, for bonus reason number 11, why I love my Fusion 50 is the stock canopy. Look at this. This thing is sweet. It's a Canamod Outrage Fusion 50. Look at how beautiful this thing is. I got a sticker with my Scorpion motor on there, which I put on there, but this thing is just beautiful. I haven't had a helicopter with such a nice canopy that came with it stock than this. Plus, it's got the mounting holes in the front and the mounting holes in the back, so it holds on there really nice and solid. Fits perfectly, never any warping, at least in my case, and just that is one really nice stock canopy.